Earlier, Katsuya was fatally injured while trying to protect some girls from an armed robber. She wakes up to find herself reincarnated in a fantasy world as Kane, who belongs to a noble family, who has passed. He keeps his memories from his life, so his family considers him a genius. At the age of 5 he undergoes a forced baptism. The gods grant him all their abilities, and max out all his stats. When his family sees this they warn him to keep their abilities a secret, but he sets his sights on becoming an adventurer. The family later gathers for a meal after Kane announces his intention to become an adventurer at his debutante party, and his father tells him that he needs to learn more if he wants to achieve this goal in order to help Aiden. The tutor decides to appoint Kane. Is excited. He turns to Sylvia, who also smiles happily. She later waits for her teacher in her room and reads about how they are torn apart like a witch, or more like magic. His thoughts are interrupted when the maid informs him that his tutor has arrived. The boy runs to the window and makes an instant move to look closer, but he misjudges his direction, and then Millie lands on Nina's natural pillow. She is also knocked out. She apologizes and introduces herself to them. The teachers enter the house. Millie is nervous, pretending Nina was short and sweet. Her partner reprimands her. Kane, who is rude to the nobles, notices that she is an elf when he removes Nina's hood and surprises her, and her father calms them down, and confirms that he is their teacher. Explains. Addressing him, it calms them down as he breathes. Gum tells them that they will be training his son for 3 years, so they must take good care of him. He hands him over to them to go out to start right away, and the instructors go to the training ground, where they begin their swordsmanship training. Millions of people try a few swings to get a gauge of their level. Kane gets into position and begins to swing a little. Millie is surprised at how delicate his skills are. The ridiculous idea that a child could be better than a teacher upsets Millie, who is sure she won't lose to a 5-year-old, as Kane suggests that Millie, who is above elementary level, stand up and have a mock fight with the youngsters. The guy makes accusations against her. She blocks, but it's hard to believe she's 5. Only to confirm that Kane was baptized a few days ago. She continues to bombard him with attacks as Nina makes more comments about her sharp swordsmanship. He asked her if she was with the protection of the god of war. Keeping his teacher on his back foot, Kane turns to another teacher to confirm his suspicions, also revealing that his father told him that no one outside the family knew that Millie could not go on, so he orders her to stop, admitting that if things keep going at this rate she can't go on, so she suggests he go to Nina and she starts teaching him magic during her break. Protection from a 3rd-level magic god. He wants to start with the basics, but Kane tells him that he's practically learned what he's read from the books, and shows him how to conjure up a water and fireball, then ends the show. He shoots a few stone arrows at the target, but the spell is so strong that it shatters the target, and the wall behind the trainer is stunned as he can only do entry-level things at the moment. Nina says he just used unprecedented magic, because using abbreviated forms of spells also requires intense training, so he must be a genius to use unmentioned magic at such a young age that he knows how to use all 4 elements. Nina drops some more exposition, noting that even among the court wizards, none of them can use all the elements, and with such power. She asks Kane if he has protection from the god of magic, and he confirms that Millie does, as if they can't teach him anything because he's so blessed. The 2 teachers are even more shocked when they offer him a towel from their supply box. They're not surprised by what else this kid has done, or they can't handle it. Millie points out that they can't train her inside the castle walls anymore because the place won't hold up against her power. Kane says that they could have a class outside the wall, except for the immersion, which they have never been immersed in, which could be a possibility for him to explore the larger world. They both realize that real-world practice will be more difficult with his talent. The teachers later explain to his father that Kane's abilities in swordsmanship and magic are far beyond the basic level if they continue to practice. Green realizes the situation and allows them to leave, but Kane must return before sunset the next day. The student and his teachers go. Much to Kane's excitement, they stop when they are far enough away from Nina's mansion. Tells him to try a medium spell on a rock. He decides to try a fire spell first and unleashes a firewall spell that sends his teachers flying. Millie is convinced that she must lose her magic because she put so much effort into casting it. She assures them that she is fine, so they conclude that she has crazy magic. Attacks. He dodges Millie and shoots towards Kane, who encounters wind magic. They congratulate him on his first score. The boy decides to put it in the object box to show his sister and mother later that he plans to buy a magic bag when he has enough money. They explain that it's a magic item with the same ability as an item box for the unskilled, but the bag is too expensive. he changes the subject. Back at the session, they suggest they do some more hunting, as they have time to kill. Nina uses a search spell to find some enemies. Cain is interested in learning magic, and after a brief explanation of how it works, he gives it a try. Brilliant takes first time. Not only can he step forward and tell the number and types of creatures that run forward to fight them, this takes the trio out, but some escape into the forest, so Cain needs speed and wants to keep going in hot pursuit. His teachers stop him and explain that every few decades it's dangerous here, and the beast monsters under their command try to destroy the city, so its walls are so high that it just gives Cain another incentive to be adventurous. It might help if it happens again at night. He checks his stats before bed and is shocked to see he's level 8 after doing so little and blames the gods for making him too weak the next day. They take it to the guild hall, because they think their apprentice can handle it. Is it me, or are they trying to use the kid as free labor? But the kid gets excited and runs after them when they interact with them. When the receptionist tries to find the right deal, they are interrupted by an older adventurer, who tries to harass them for being D-ranked, who mocks them, and babysits for being with Cain. Asked whether or not getting in Mia's face and telling her to drop Cain and pour him a drink. You can tell by her expression that she's turned away because she's out of breath. He tells her to go to a bar that offers that kind of service. Meanwhile, they are on duty, which angers him when he holds her hand. The other two party members catch Nellie Cain not having such behavior, so she grabs the Marine's hand and joins them in their training. Warns him that he is interfering with his studies, and his teacher orders him run, but he slaps the bully's arm, causing him to fall to the floor in pain. The man angrily stands up ready to teach the boy a lesson, but Cain slips his punches and doubles him, knocked him off balance, and drew his sword to fight the C-rank boy. It sinks in for a moment. Cain dodges all his blows, demanding an apology from his tutors. Then he comes down with a charge and the boy grabs it with 2 fingers. The guy tries to get the sword back, but he is incapable of drawing a sword. The boy throws him away like a piece of trash. He the other to get scared and grab Millie with a knife. Cain doesn't back down and kicks them out too. His teachers thank him because the attackers were lying outside passed out. Millie insists she's fine. Also in martial arts, he says that he learned it in books, and after this test, they head to the forest, where he continues to practice every day. Finally, Sylvia brings some clothes to Cain's room, and informs him that his trainers have refused to renew his contract. He realizes that he won't be able to bond the two adventurers for much longer, but he wonders if there is a way to thank them. Cain, who has been very nice to her for years, remembers that Millie wanted a magic bag, and that night he goes to the forest to make bags out of monsters. He knows Millie likes the color red, so he defeats the green team of the blooded Nina. He does the same to the Earth Dragon, in order to get what he needs. The guard at his station sees his attacks from the city wall, and thinks it's a monster plague, so he sounds the alarm. Garmo, Zed gathers his men, and runs into the forest to stop them, but when they arrive they find only a crater and Cain's handkerchief. With no monsters visible, Cain completes the last part of the training. As they officially finishes, they admit that he already knows everything, but Cain, who is still nice to teach him, takes the opportunity to give them the magic bags he made when he tells them the materials he used to make them, and they reveal that even a group of A-class adventurers would struggle to defeat beasts of that caliber. Not bad because it can fit in a palace, which surprises the two, and they inform him that if people find out about his unprecedented anti-theft technology, the bags he produces will be considered beyond national treasure level. He believes he has learned a lot. They, including how fun the adventure is, say goodbye to them when they get back home, and her father scolds her for her antics in the forest, as his tied handkerchief gives her away, ending the episode.